representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Super Soul. In other words, the disciple should accept the spiritual master as God because he is the external manifestation of the Krishna. This is this is confirmed in every scripture, and a discipline should accept disciple should accept the spiritual master uh, as I can't read here. Something is there. I don't know. The symbol is there. Should accept the spiritual master as such. One should learn Srimad Bhagavatam seriously and with all respect and uh, veneration for the spiritual master. Hearing the speaking Srimad Bhagavatam is the religious process that elevates one to the platform of serving and loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The attitude of this disciple should be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. Then it will very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. This is confirmed in the Vedas and Rupa Goswami will further explain that for a person who has un, unfetching, what is written? Unflinching faith in God and the spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. Serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence.
Thank you,
Shubha?
Mataji.
Thank you,
Let's
Netaji.
give somebody else a chance and Prabhuji to start class. Prabhuji starting
Thank
class.
you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, so tomorrow is not tomorrow. On 7th is Rath Yatra. So everyone is very excited, I hope, and that for Rath Yatra. And from ISKCON Mangalore also Rath Yatra will be happening, I think. So let's start today's class. There will be many. We were reading chapter number 8. So quickly we'll go to till chapter number 7 we have done. Chapter number 8 we'll see. Okay. Offenses to be avoided. What offenses we have to avoid? Like if you remember, we had in the level 2 we had some classes like Bhakti Sadachar classes, our Sadachar classes. Okay. So those the do's and don'ts, many things were there, and most of the things were taken from this these chapters. What to be done, what offenses to be avoided, those things were there. Okay, so we'll be going through the list of items we should do, we should not do. Okay, and in our slides, like only one slide is there, not in a detailed way. So we'll go through the chapter through the Veda base. Okay, so let's start the class today. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let's start chapter number 8 today, offenses to avoid. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible. So we'll quickly close
Yes.
this screen and then we shall share the chapter. So this is chapter number 8, offenses to avoid. What we have to avoid. Okay. So in in order to in order to live a spiritual life, like Bhakti Sadachar classes we had, they are how a devotee lives, what are the rules and regulations, those things we used to learn. Earlier class also, like 7th and 8th, 6th and 7th chapter also, you have read some rules and regulation and then some scriptural references were there. Here also you'll find the same way. Some rules and regulations will be there, how a devotee lives and how to avoid the offenses. The first thing is offense. Okay. So offense. So there are two words are there. One is called offense. One is called sin. Okay. I hope both word you know what is the meaning of offense and what is the meaning of sin. Okay. So which one is the worst? Which one is or you can say the worst? Doing sin is worst or the offense is worst? Which one is uh, more, you can say, not good.
Sin, Prabhuji. Sin.
Yeah, which sin is more or more worst? Okay, Mataji, you are telling sin. Any other answer? Anyone wants to add? Only two answers are there. One is sin, one is offense. So anyone in on the side of offenses, that offenses are worse?
Offenses, Prabhuji, maybe.
Offenses are worse. Okay. Sin or offense? So the answer is offense. Okay. Why offense is worse? We'll see. Okay. See, the sin, like sin is the papa karma. Okay. So sin and like punya karma and pap karma are on the level of material platform. Okay. Like if you do punya karma or pap karma, you will have certain good material activities deposited in your account and bad material activity which is deposited in your account, like punya karma and pap karma that is deposited in your account. Okay, so that is punya and pap on the material platform. But the offenses are even on the spiritual platform. Okay, spiritual platform. If you offend a guru or you offend a Vaishnava or you offend like we say like in the deities, okay, then there is no spiritual progress also. Okay, so the offenses are worst. Okay, so that's why we should be very careful. A Vaishnava or a devotee who want to progress in the spiritual life, they should be careful of the offenses, not doing the offenses against the Vaishnava, against the deities. So there are many offenses which are listed. So we should not be very fearful that, oh, these much offenses are there, we should be very fearful of these offenses like that. No, actually, these are the general rules. Like when we live at our home, okay, and any senior person is there, like grandfather is there or our father is there are certain rules and regulations will be there, which we won't be, certain do's and don'ts will be there in front of them. Like if two brothers are fighting, okay, small brothers are there and they're fighting and grandfather comes to the house, okay, and if two brothers respect the grandfather, what will happen? They will stop fighting. If they are shouting at each other, if grandfather comes, they will stop the side shouting. Okay, so what are these things? These are means these are some offenses. If they are still fighting, then it will be offending to the grandfather. Okay, so that is the thing. So it will offend the grandfather. So offenses are something which is meant to follow so that we maintain the respect and decorum, okay, with the deities or the spiritual master. So some rules and regulations will be there, are there, which are to show our respect, that we are respecting the deities, we are respecting the other Vaishnava. Okay, so like that. So some rules and regulations will be there. So we have to see those rules and regulations and try to follow that. And in the next chapter, also ninth chapter, there will be what how spiritually we should lead our life, means what are the things, physical things in the home, in the temples we should do, we should not do. Okay, so some rules and regulations will be there based on that. These chapters are there. Yes, Chanda Mataji, you have raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhuji. The two words which you have said, offenses and I said sin, right? So out of one choice was given to select. So can I understand like committing the sin, that is, you said that the karma we are in account, it is already registered, whatever our deeds were or will be. And offenses can we understand like that we are still, the Bhagwan is giving us chance to use the intellect and not to offense, so that you can rectify your the further karma or the sin, or kind of the karma which we are bringing. And then
Mataji, what point I bought is uh,
others, please mute your mic.
yeah, what point I bought is the pap and punya, the sin is on material platform, but this offenses can be even on the spiritual platform. Okay, so that is what I meant. So that's why I told that offense are worse than the sin, or the badder. You can say badder, bad, worse, worst. We say no, so worse than the sin. So like that we can. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
let's
okay.
start the offenses which we should avoid. Okay, so there are 32 offenses are there, so which is written there. So slowly we can read out. So if any volunteer wants to read, they can read, or otherwise we can.
Yes, Prabhuji, may I read?
You want to read, Mataji? Yes, you can start reading, Mataji, from your offenses to be avoided. And
Offenses to be avoided. In the supplementary Vedic literature, there is the following list of 32 offenses in the matter of serving the Lord. The first one is, one should not enter the temple of the deity in a car or uh, palki, palkin, or
yeah,
with dust on the feet. Second one
with
is
shoes on the feet. Okay, so
shoes on the feet. Then the second one is, one should not uh, fall to observe the
no,
various
Mataji, one should
festivals.
not fail to
Fail.
observe.
Actually, sorry, Prabhuji, it is my phone and I'm not able to.
Okay, so
Okay,
any other person can,
yeah.
Mataji.
Praveen Prabhu wanted to read, Prabhu.
Yes,
You can
Praveen
read,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You
Hare
can
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Offenses to be avoided. In the supplementary Vedic literature, there is
Prabhuji,
the
be little slow, so because these will be the list will be there, so it will take time so other person to understand what it meant. So you can
in
go
the
little slowly.
supplementary Vedic
Yeah.
literature, there is the following list of 32 offenses in the matter of serving the Lord. First, one should not enter the temple of the deity in a car or palanquin or with shoes on the feet. One should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Janmashtami and Rath Yatra.
So Rath
One
Yatra is going to happen. Sorry
on
to
the
interrupt, Prabhu. Just the list is there, so it is not very difficult to understand that. So in India, if you see most of the people, they will keep their shoe outside before the temple. That is written in the DT in the car. Inside the temple, we should not enter in a car. One should not enter the temple of the deity in a car, a palanquin, or a shoe. The thing is, we should treat the deities which is there in the temple as a king. Okay, like king of everyone. Okay, and we are servant to the deities, like that. If deities are there in the house, then the deities are the king of the house. Okay, and we are servant uh, of the deities. Like that, we should treat. So we should not be coming to the temple room with the in the car. or in the palanquin, or with the shoes in the feet. Okay, so like that, we should respect the deity in that way. Second thing is we should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Janmashtami and Rath Yatra. So Rath Yatra is coming, so everyone should be very enthusiastic to observe the Rath Yatra festival. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji, third one.
One should not avoid bowing down before the deity.
So
One
whenever
should,
we saw the deities, we should bow down in front of the deities. Okay, so that is the, you can complete, then one by one we can go through the list. Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, bowing down is in front or from the side?
Yeah, in the from the side only we should bow down. Correct way is to bow down from the side in the temple.
Because I've seen quite a few, in many places, people
Mhm.
bow down from the front.
There, the reason you will find in this paragraph only, Prabhu. So you read out why we should bow down from the side. You will find here only in this chapter only. Yes,
One
Prabhu.
should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hand and feet after eating. One should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. According to Vedic scripture, if someone dies in the family, the whole family becomes contaminated for some time according to its status. For example, if the family is Brahman, the contamination period is 12 days. For the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, it is 15 days. And for Shudras, 30 days. One should not bow down on one hand. One should not circumambulate in front of Sri Krishna. The process of circumambulating the temple is that one should begin circumambulating from the deity's right hand side of the temple and come round. Such circumambulation should be performed outside the temple structure at least 3 times daily. One should not spread his legs before the deity. One should not sit before the deity holding the ankles, elbows, or knees with one hand. One should not lie down before the deity of Krishna. One should not accept prasad before the deity. One should never speak a lie before the deity. One should not talk very loudly before the deity. One should not talk with others before the deity. One should not cry or howl before the deity. One should not quarrel or fight before the deity. One should not chastise anyone before the deity. One should not be charitable to beggars before the deity. One should not speak very harshly to others before the deity. One should not wear a fur blanket before the deity. One should not eulogize or praise anyone else before the deity. One should not speak any ill names before the deity. One should not pass air before the deity. One should not fail to worship the deity according to one's means. In Prabhuji, can you just raise the screen? And in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the Lord is satisfied if some devotee offers him even a leaf or a little water. This formula prescribed by the Lord is universally applicable even for the poorest man. But that does not mean that one who has sufficient means to worship the Lord very nicely should also adopt this method and try to satisfy the Lord simply by offering water and a leaf. If he has sufficient means, he should offer nice decorations, nice flowers, and nice foodstuffs and observe all ceremonies. It is not that one should try to satisfy the Supreme Lord with a little water and leaf, and for himself spend all his money in sense gratification. One should not eat anything that is not offered first to Krishna. One should not fail to offer fresh fruit and grain to Krishna according to the season. After food has been cooked, no one should be offered any foodstuff until it is first offered to the deity. One should not sit with his back towards the deity. One should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master, or in other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual master while offering obeisances. One should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of the spiritual master. One should not praise himself before the spiritual master. One should not deride the demigods before the deity. Hare
Okay,
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So these are the 32 list items. 32 items are there, or the offenses are there which we should avoid. So let's quickly go through one by one. Okay. So one should not fail to observe various. One should not avoid bowing down before the deities. Okay, so whenever we see the deities, the decorum is we should bow down in front of the deity. Okay, so it is said that like when we bow down to, imagine we are bowing down to a person. Okay, if any person is there, even if he is very hard-hearted, you bow down to that person 5 times a day, he will become soft-hearted to you. Okay, like that. So imagine if you are bowing down in front of the deities daily. Okay, and so you'll have certainly have mercy of the supreme person. Okay, so we should bow down in front of the deity. Whenever we see senior Vaishnava, we should bow down in front of them. When we see any Maharaj who has taken sannyas, who has dedicated his life to the service of the supreme personality, we should bow down in front of them. So we should be bowing down in front of them. And he said that before the deity, one should bow down. So not avoid bowing down. One should not avoid bowing down in front of the deity. So you should bow down. Whenever you see the deity, bow down. Okay. Like when you're going to Darshanarthi, bow down in front of the deity. Whenever you see, bow down like that. Okay. One should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one feet or hand after eating. Okay. Very simple. One should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. Like if any death is there, we should not enter the temple. We are all Shudra here, so we should not enter for 30 days. Okay. But yeah, but it is not like the universal, like we should not enter. Okay. If even if any death is there, so there are two methods of like worshipping. Okay. One is called the uh, one is called the like the Bhagavatam method, and one can be called like I'm not remembering the name, like Vedic method, you can say like that. Okay, so Bhagavatam emphasizes on the hearing and chanting more. Okay, so and hearing and chanting is mostly from the temple, and online also it is there. So here for hearing and chanting, you can enter the temple like that. This way you can remember. You cannot directly engage in any service of the deities. You cannot engage yourself in any other service, but for hearing and chanting, you can go to the temple, you can hear, you can chant. Okay, so like that. One should not bow down with one hand only. So both hands should be there, and we should bow down in front of the deity. Ladies, they don't give full ashtang, sashtang pranam. Okay, they bow down half. They give half dandvat, like that, half dandvat. Okay, males give full dandvat. Okay, so that is the thing. And one should not bow down with one hand. One should not circumambulate in front of Sri Krishna. So what is the rule? We should circumambulate the temple. Okay, so any temple you go, we should circumambulate that temple. Okay, so we should start with the left hand or the right hand of Krishna, right hand side of Krishna, not from the front side, right hand side of Krishna. We should circumambulate at least 3 times. Okay, so that is the, in a day we should circumambulate 3 times. So that is the circumambulation process. One should not spread his leg before the deity. So we should not be spreading the legs before the deity. We should not be keeping, when we are sitting in the temple, we should not keep, like generally what people do, they keep their left hand on the knees and the ankles. Okay, like that. So we should avoid doing that. You can keep the hands in the center. Okay, so like that. So one should not spread the leg before the deity. One should not sit before the deity, like holding the ankles, elbow, and knee with one hand. So like that, many people, they will sit like that. Okay. So holding the other ankle or holding the knee. Okay. Holding the elbow. So we should not do like that. Next is, one should not sit. One should not lie before the deities. Okay. One should not accept prasad before the deity. Okay. Uh, we should not be like eating even the prasad before the deity. When the curtain is closed, then that time we can eat. But during when the curtain is open, Krishna is there. Okay, we should not, like when we are in temple, we should not think like that these are the deities only. We should imagine that Krishna himself is there, and we are there with Krishna's presence. Okay, and Krishna is observing us, like uh, like uh, um like he is the king of the whole world, and he's sitting, and very important person is there who is sitting Okay, and we are there as a servant, and we should, so these things should not be done. Okay, so like that. One should never speak a lie before the deities. We should not take like a oath. We take oath in the name of God. Okay, so we should not do like that. We should not take oath on the name of God. We should not take never speak lie in front of the God. Okay, so like that. One should not never talk very loudly before the deity. One should not talk with others before the deity. We should give priority to the Supreme Person. We should give priority to the Lord. Okay, and we should not be unnecessarily talking to other person sitting in the temple hall and chit chatting with other person, the worldly matters, other things, not like that. Okay, when we are sitting in the temple, we should be giving full attention to the Supreme Person. Imagine the Supreme Lord is there in front of us and we are talking to other person, so it won't be like a nice gesture. Okay, so like that. One should not talk with others before the deity. One should not cry or howl. We should not be shouting in the temple hall. We should not cry or howl before the deity. One should not quarrel or fight before the deity. One should not speak harshly before to others before the deity. One should not chastise others. We should not praise others in front of the deity. Okay, we should not speak any ill names before the deities. Okay, we should not give like abusing words before the deity. One should not pass hair before the deity. One should not fail to worship the deities according to one's mean. Okay, like a person who is able to whatever he is able to. Okay, like Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So any person who doesn't have any mean, they can worship with Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. If any person is there who wants, who is able enough to decorate Krishna with any other means, they can decorate like that. So like a king is there and he should be very opulent in his Rajmal. Okay, so we should be like that. We should be making a nice temple for Krishna, and then we should be worshipping very opulently if we are able to do that. Okay, so like that. One should not eat anything that is not offered to Krishna. So we should be accepting prasadam. Okay, we should not be accepting any other thing which is not offered to Krishna. So Krishna, we as a servant of Krishna, what we have to do is we should be accepting what Krishna has already taken. Okay, so that means we are servant of Krishna. We are taking the remnants which is left by Krishna. Okay, we are subsiding on the remnants which is left over by Krishna. We are subsiding over that. So that is the meaning of taking prasadam only or accepting the prasadam. Whatever is there, first offer to Krishna. He is the first person to get offered. Okay, then other person can take the prasad, accept the prasad. One should not sit with his back towards the deity. We should not face the back. Okay, if any very important person is there and we are sitting with our back on Krishna's side, okay, so it is not acceptable. So we should give proper respect. We should not offend Krishna. Okay, so like that. One should not sit with his back. One should not offer obeisances silently to a spiritual master. And in the other, one should recite aloud the prayers to a spiritual master while performing obeisances. Okay, like Prabhupada is there. So when we offer obeisances to Prabhupada in the temple, we should chant his pranam mantra. Okay, so we should offer his pranam mantra. Okay, so anyone remembers what is the pranam mantra of Prabhupada?
Om Vishnupada Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhotale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharedi Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Taredi.
Yes, so we should be speaking little loudly, like we chant. We should not chant in our mind. So we should be the pranam mantra. We should be also reciting not in the mind, little bit loud. Okay, so right, one should recite aloud. So that is like a prayer or like a praise to the spiritual master. So we should be doing that. One should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of a spiritual master. When we see spiritual master, we should pay obeisances. We should pray and we should praise our spiritual master. Okay, one should not praise himself before the spiritual master. One should not, we are not important person in front of spiritual master, so we should not be praising ourselves. Okay, we should be praising Krishna. We should be praising spiritual master. Okay, and we should praise spiritual master as a servant of Krishna. That is also important. Okay, what service he has done in the in the in service of Krishna, that mood and that quality of a spiritual master we should praise. Okay, one should not deride demigods before the deity. One should not be like demigods are also like super Vaishnava. Okay, so we should not be deriding the demigods before the deities.
Prabhuji lost his connection, so nobody can hear him. He'll be back. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think my screen is visible now.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So I was having some little network problem. Okay. So these were like, one should not deride the demigods before the deity. We should not disrespect the deity in front of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So one should not disrespect anyone. Leave the Supreme Super Vaishnava, the person who are serving the Supreme Personality of God with the demigods. Okay. So like that. So we should not deride like demigod. We should not the demigods are like this. No, no, no. It is not like that. We should give proper respect to them. Okay. So these were the items we should offenses we should avoid. Okay. Then there are other offenses also is there, and then lastly there will be the offenses while chanting. So we'll read out quickly the next offenses. Okay. So these are the 32 list items. Some more offenses are there which we should avoid, and then we'll see the 10 offenses of chanting. Okay. So who is going to read this 10 next offenses items? Any volunteer? Alka Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
This is a list of 32 offenses. Besides these, there are a number of offenses which are mentioned in the Varaha Puran. They are as follows. One should not touch the deity in a dark room. One should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshipping the deity. One should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound. One should not offer any foodstuff to the deity which has been seen by dogs or other lower animals. One should not break silence while worshipping. One should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worshipping. One should not offer incense without offering some flower. Useless flowers without any fragrance should not be offered. One should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. One should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. One should not enter the temple after touching a woman during her menstrual period. One should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. One should not enter the temple wearing garments of red or blue color or garments which are unwashed. One should not enter the temple after seeing a dead body. One should not pass air within the temple. One should not be angry within the temple. One should not enter the temple after visiting a crematorium. One should not belch before the deity. So until one has fully digested his food, he should not enter the temple. One should not smoke marijuana or ganja. One should not take opium or similar intoxicants. One should not enter the deity room or touch the body of the deity after having smeared oil over his body. One should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. One should not introduce any opposing scripture. One should not chew betel before the deity. One should not offer a flower that was kept in an unclean pot. One should not worship the Lord while sitting on the bare floor. One must have a sitting place or a carpet. One should not touch the deity before one has completed taking bath. One should not decorate his forehead with a three-lined tilak. One should not enter the temple without washing his hands and feet.
Okay.
Hare
So
Krishna.
let's discuss all the, yes, Mate, thank you very much. So let's discuss these things. What are the, so one should not see, mainly these things are related to the deity worship. Okay. So let's see what are the items. One should not touch the deity in the dark room. Very obvious. One should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulation for worshipping the deity. So if you take Brahman Diksha, okay, there are rules and regulations, then you are allowed to worship the deities at the temple. Say at that time, rules and regulation, there are proper methods and rules and regulations for deity worship. So you can, there are courses are there for that. So you can follow that rules and regulations. Some rules and regulations are also mentioned here. So we can follow these things. One should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound. So when we enter to someone's house, okay, so it is a general etiquette that we should make some sound, like make some sound on the door, tapping on the door, so that the person who is inside knows that some other person is coming and he is conscious of that. Okay, so like that. So we should always, it is a good practice to, in any room, wherever we are entering or any place, first we should tap that room so that other person is will be conscious that other person or some other person is coming. So for that also, if you are entering into the temple, first we should make some sound on the temple door, or we should clap so that the deities know that we are coming. Okay, like that. So like that. So whenever we enter the temple, we should clap so that the deities know we are coming. Okay. One should not enter the temple in deity without first making some sound. One should not offer any foodstuff to the deity which has been seen by dogs or other lower animals. So when we cook prasadam and when we are going to offer the food to Krishna, so when we prepare the thali of prasadam, we cover the thali with some clothes so that it is covered, and while bringing the food stuff from the kitchen to the deity place, it is covered so that the lower animals cannot see that. Okay, so like that. One should not break silence while worshipping. One should not pass urine or evacuate while worshipping or engage in the worshipping of the deities. One should not offer incense without offering some flowers. So first we should offer some flower, that too some flower which is very nice smelling. Okay, so like that. One should not enter. One should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. So general etiquette. One should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. One should not enter the temple after touching a woman during her menstrual period. One should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. One should not enter the temple wearing the garment of red or blue color. Blue color. So blue color and red color, try to avoid that too much bright. Okay, bright blue color, bright red color, which will attract everyone attention. That those garments we should avoid. We should, when we are going to temple, we should wear simple clothes which are simple as well as nice clothes, like that. It should not be too much attracting, too much glittering, so that everyone is seeing us only instead of Krishna. Okay, so like that. So too much red, too much bright blue colors, these colors to be avoided, and obviously the unwashed clothes should be avoided. One should not enter temple after seeing a dead body. One should not pass hair within the temple. So passing the hair as well as bleaching, both should be avoided. So that's why it is better to go to temple in the morning hours. Okay. So after taking bath in the empty stomach, we go to temple, and the afternoon times also the temple will be closed, deity will be taking rest. So evening time the temple will open. So at that time when our food is fully digested, then that time we can go. Okay. So so that is the thing. Where one should not be angry within the temple. Krishna is there. How can we become angry on another person? Okay. One should not enter the temple after visiting crematorium. One should not belch. One should not take marijuana, ganja. One should not take opium. So intoxicant we should avoid. Um, One should not enter the deity room or touch the body of deity after smearing oil over the body. So it is for the deity worshippers. Okay. One should not show disrespect to the scripture. One should not introduce any opposing scripture. One should not chew betel before the deity. One should not offer a flower that was kept in unclean pot. So general etiquettes are there. One should not worship the Lord while sitting on barefoot. Yes, this one is also is there, so you can follow. So you should have a carpet. You should not stand on the bare floor for worshipping or doing the aarti. Okay. One should not touch the deities before one has taken completely taken bath. One should not decorate his forehead with 3-line tilak. Okay. So this is the 3-line tilak that Vaishnava tilaks are like in the like in the straight one. Okay. But the 3 tilaks are like this. Okay. So this is the tilak which um other sampradaya, okay, they do, where they consider themselves like impersonalists. They have this type of tilaks. Okay, the Vaishnava will have tilak which is straight. Okay, so we should not decorate our head with the 3-line tilak or the tilak which is the impersonalist tilak. Okay, one should not enter the temple without washing the hand and foot. General etiquette. Okay. Yes, we will read.
May I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare
Please
Krishna,
read.
Prabhuji, pranams. Other rules are that one should not offer foodstuff which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava. One should not worship the deity before a non-devotee, and one should not engage himself in the worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. One should not worship the deity without first worshipping the demigod Ganapati, who drives away all impediments in the execution of devotional service. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganpati worships the lotus feet of Lord Narasimhadeva and in that way has become auspicious for the devotees in clearing out all impediments. Therefore, all devotees should worship Ganpati. The deity should not be bathed in water that has been touched by the nails or fingers. When a devotee is perspiring, he should not engage himself in worshipping the deity. Similarly, there are many other prohibitions. For example, one should not cross or step over the flowers offered to the deities, nor should one take a vow in the name of God. These are all different kinds of offenses in the matter of executing devotional service, and one should be careful to avoid them. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So, eating prasadam or accepting the prasadam, what is the general consensus or what is the general etiquette is that when we prepare the prasadam, it should be in the mood that we are going to offer it to Krishna and Krishna is going to eat it. So when a non-devotee makes the prasadam, he doesn't have this consciousness. Okay, that's why Krishna doesn't accept that. Krishna accepts any item which is prepared with love and devotion. So love and devotion is more important than the food stuff. Okay, so Krishna accepts that thing which is made with love and devotion. Okay, so that's why it is said that one should not offer food stuff which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava. So a Vaishnava or a devotee when it's cooking, then only Krishna will accept. Okay, so like that. And one should not engage himself. This is for the deity worshipper. One should not worship the deity with first worshipping the. Yes, there is a very confusing line. People will get confused because in ISKCON, mainly we say that we should worship Krishna. Okay, and demigod worshipper we can. When we are worshipping Krishna, then there is no need of worshipping any demigods also because we are watering the roots only. Okay, so like that. So let's read the line first, then we'll understand. One should not worship the deities without first worshipping the demigod Ganpati. Why? Because he derides away all impediments in the execution of devotional service. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganpati worships the lotus feet of the Lord Narasimha, and in that way has become auspicious for the devotee in clearing out all impediments. Therefore, all the devotees should worship the Ganpati. Okay, so this statements makes that we should worship Ganpati also. Obviously, we should worship, we can worship. Okay, there is no nothing like we should not worship. Even if you go to the temple in Mumbai, Chowpatty temple, okay, which is under Radhanath Swami Maharaj. When we are entering outside only, there is a small Ganpati deities are there. Okay, so it is not like that that we cannot worship any other demigods. Why we should worship the demigods, and what we should ask for the demigod? We should ask the demigods that the service which you are doing, it is very great service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We also want to progress in the spiritual life. We want to also progress in the devotion, and in that mood we should worship that. Uh, like we want devotion, like Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani is there. We offer daily um obeisances to the Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani. We circumambulate Tulsi Maharani because she provides bhakti. Okay, she is in direct contact with Krishna, Vrinda Devi, and she provides bhakti to us. Okay, and we offer daily obeisances. We offer aarti to the Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani, and demigods also we can worship in that mood. Okay, so like that. But the thing is, we should be focused what we want in our spiritual life. Okay, we should not be like different minded that we can worship this also, we can worship this also. That's why Prabhupada single Prabhupada gives the focus that we should worship Krishna only, because Krishna is the root. And when we are worshipping Krishna, everyone will be satisfied. So there is no need of worshipping any other demigods if you are worshipping Krishna. But obviously, if you want, you can worship. Okay, so like that. So that is the explanation which we can have. Where because many people, they will be confused about worshipping the demigod. We should worship the demigod Ganpati first, and then we should worshiping Krishna, like that. Obviously we can worship, but thing is we should be focused that we want to worship Krishna, and with that mode, if we are worshipping the demigods, finally the initial days we will be worshipping the demigods, but finally the final outcome will be the worshipping of Krishna. Okay, so single aim should be there. Then with that aim, if you are worshipping, that is okay. Otherwise, if you are worshipping Ganpati, give me some dhan, daulat, give me some good wife, good health. In that way, if you are worshipping, that is the incorrect way of worshipping the demigods. Okay. Yes. So there will be now the offenses against the chanting of the holy name. So that is going to come. So he's going to read in these two paragraphs that is going to come.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Manasi Mataji, would you
Hare
like to
Krishna.
read? Manasi Mataji, are you there? Anyone else would like to read, please? Prabhu's waiting.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, Seema Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that even a person whose life is completely sinful will be completely protected by the Lord if he simply surrender unto him. So it is accepted that one who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes free from all sinful reactions. And even when a person becomes an offender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, he can still be delivered simply by taking shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial for eradicating all sins. But if one becomes an offender to the holy names of the Lord, then he has no chance of being delivered. Can I continue, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows: to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu, Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, but no one is a no, but one who is a devotee
One.
knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali Kali or Durga Durga, it is the same as Hare Krishna. That is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Five, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Six, to give some interpretations on the holy name of the Lord. Seven, to commit the sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. It should not be taken that because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. One may continue to act sinfully and after the chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. Eighth, Prabhu, can you scroll up? To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. To instruct, ninth, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning, one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10. To not have a complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Prabhuji, should I continue or?
Yeah, this one line is left, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Okay. So these are the 10 offenses of the towards the against the holy name. We have already covered these offenses earlier when we are reading about the offenses of the, against the holy name. Okay. So we'll again revise those offenses because these are very important. These are called mad elephant. Okay. So we get the Bhakti Lata bees or the small creeper. That is called creeper. Lata is called creeper. Okay. So the Bhakti creeper or the devotional creeper we get in our heart due to the kripa of Krishna, the kripa of Guru. Okay. And what we have to do is we have to nurture that devotional creeper in our heart. Okay. So that it will blossom and will be progressing in devotion. Okay. So like that. But these offenders, these offense against the holy name, these 10 offense are very, very dangerous. These are called mad elephant. Okay. Like a mad elephant is there who is going over the garden. That what will happen to the garden? There won't be any creeper left. Okay. So he will be going through the every creeper like that. So these are called mad elephant. The offenses, these 10 offenses which we are going to read are called mad offenses. Anyone doing these offenses will not progress in the devotional life. Okay, will not progress. It is written here. In other words, the chanting of the Hare Krishna is beneficial for eradicating all sin. It is not exaggeration that when a person, even a person who sees Krishna, he won't take again the birth in this material world again. A person who takes Krishna's name once, he won't take material birth again. This is not like exaggeration. But what happens? The offenses. Okay, the offenses comes. So in other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial for eradicating all sins. But if one become an offender to the holy name of the Lord, then he has no chance of being delivered. Okay. So it is not a exaggeration, whatever things are written in the Shastra, that even once you take Govardhan Parikrama, you will go back to Godhead like that. So many things will be written. In the next chapter also, we will find many things that if you even see once Krishna as deity, you will go back to Godhead. But thing is the offenses which we do, okay? Because of these offenses, we are not going to, we don't have the Bhakti Lata bees, we don't have the proper understanding about Krishna, okay? So like that. So we should avoid these offenses. And when we avoid these offenses and do the bhakti, when we avoid these offenses and do the Harinam, then certainly we'll go back to Godhead. Okay. So what are these 10 offenses, the very important 10 offenses are there, and everyone should avoid these 10 offenses. Carefully avoid these 10 offenses. Okay. First is to blaspheme the devotee who has dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Any devotee who has dedicated his life for the service of the Supreme Personality, we should not blaspheme. Leave the devotee, we should not blaspheme any other person. It is very dangerous to blaspheme a Vaishnava. Okay. When we do blaspheme to a Vaishnava, then there is no chance of being deliverance. They leave the thing that we are a devotee. Those things are not applicable to a person who blaspheme a devotee. Okay. Any person who has dedicated his life to a Vaishnava, we should not blaspheme. Even we should not hear the blasphemy of Vaishnava, because when we hear, that also leads to degradation of our devotion. Okay. What we have to do when we hear the blasphemy of Vaishnava, immediately counteract. When we are hearing the blasphemy of Krishna, when we are hearing the blasphemy of Vaishnava, when we are hearing the blasphemy of any senior devotee, we should immediately counteract that person. Okay. If we are not able to counteract, we should leave that place. We should go away. Otherwise, even hearing that is very dangerous. If we are not able to even leave, then we should die. We should leave our body. We should die, like that it is said in the next chapter. Okay, so that is very dangerous, because it is better to die than hearing the blasphemy of Vaishnava. It is such a dangerous thing. Otherwise, once you hear and you are not reacting anything, then there is no chance of deliverance. So it is said that you should die when you are hearing the blasphemy of Vaishnava. Leave the doing the blasphemy. We should not even hear the blasphemy. So to blaspheme the devotee who has dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord, we should not hear them. Okay. So like that. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. So we should not be thinking the name of other demigods to be equal to or independent of Lord Vishnu. Okay. To disobey the orders of a spiritual master, we should not disobey. The spiritual master is the only key of our going to go back to Godhead. Okay, that is the only connection we have with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Spiritual master is connected to the parampara. The spiritual master connects us to the parampara. Spiritual master connected to Krishna. And if we disobey the spiritual master, there is no chance. The only connection we have with Krishna is through the spiritual master. And when we disobey the spiritual master, there is no chance of going back to Godhead. Okay. So what are the disobedience to the spiritual master? The chanting. Okay, spiritual master, when we take initiation vow, the 4 regulative principles, we should not break the 4 regulative principles. We should chant 16 rounds. That is the vow we take when we take initiation in ISKCON. Okay, so that vow we should not break anytime. Okay, so like that. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of Vedic version. So we should not blaspheme the Vedic literatures. Okay. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. So glories of Krishna, the chanting of the holy name to be imagined. Okay, someone has written something like that. We should not imagine like that. Okay. To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord, to give mundane interpretation. Okay. After chanting the holy name, you will have very good life, you will have very good health, everything. No, we should not do like this. Mundane interpretation we should not give. To commit sinful activity on the strength of the holy name. Okay, that is a very good offense. Like it is said that when we chant even once the name of Krishna, then it will destroy the hills and hills of the sinful activity which we have done in this life, in the previous life. Hills and hill. One name, it will take away hills and hills of all the sinful activities. So what a person can think, what a person will be thinking, okay, whole year I will be doing the sinful activity. One day I will visit the Dham. One day I will take darshan of the Supreme Personality or Godhead. One day I will take Lord's name, and everything will be like equal. No, it is not like that. We cannot cheat Krishna. Okay, so like that. We should not be imagining like that we can do the sinful activity against the name of the chanting of the holy name. Okay, so we should not do like that. Like many person, they will be very sinful whole life, and in the last days they will chant. Okay, so it is not like that. Krishna knows everyone. Okay, Krishna is sitting in our heart. He knows what is there in the heart. Dangerous mentality. Such a mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activity. We should not uh, add the karma kanda things to the holy name. Okay, that after chanting we'll have good life, we'll have good money, good wife. No, karma kanda no. To instruct a faithless person about the glory of holy name. Okay, so many this is also important. We should not instruct a person who doesn't have the faith on holy name. So initially we should not be telling the glories of the holy name to a person who doesn't believe in the holy name. Okay, so like that. So in initial days, what we can do, we can offer them some prasadam. We can offer them some. We can tell them that it is very nice to chant. It feels very good to chant. Okay, we can offer them. We can tell them that the Kali Yuga Dharma, Kali Yuga is chanting. So these things we can invite them to come to temple. We can invite them to come to our home, and we can offer them prasadam. We can read Bhagavad Gita with them. Okay, like that. These things we can do. So those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in that matter. Okay, so transcendental glories of the name we should not tell them. But after hearing what they will do, they can blast. We should not instruct them only. Okay. After attaining certain spiritual background, they can understand a little bit. But in initial days, they cannot understand, and certainly they will blaspheme. Okay, like that can happen. So, to not to have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment, even after understanding so many instructions in this matter, this is also a sin or the offense of the chanting against the holy chanting against the chanting of the holy name. Okay. So these are the offenses, the mad elephant. Okay, and any person doing these things forget about his devotional life. He cannot progress in the devotional life. Okay. So with this, we'll end our chapter today. Next, if we have any question, we can take the questions.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, just I have a query that you have discussed about the Ashtang Namaskar to Bhagwan Krishna and that male gender and female gender. So why it is so that the female gender can't do Ashtanga Namaskar, and what is the reason behind it? I just am curious to know about it.
Okay, the thing is the breast should not touch the ground like that. It is there, Mataji. So if the females are not giving the full ashtang, then what?
And Prabhuji, one thing is also there that the female gender, they are not kind of not allowed to blow the conch. Why it is so, Prabhuji? If
Female gender are not allowed
allowed,
to conch.
yeah,
I
yes.
do not know about these things, Mataji, that whether they
Okay,
are allowed.
okay, Prabhu.
But female genders, I haven't seen any female gender blowing the conch in the temple.
Yes.
West they are doing. In the West they are doing, Mataji. In the West, when pujaris are there, female pujaris are there, then they are doing there.
Yes, Prabhuji, that's what even I blow, but my mother says always no, you are not allowed to, blow the conch. It is not good. Ashubh hota hai, kind of those things. So I just curious to know about the science behind it, that why it is not allowed to blow.
No, it is allowed, I think, because in the West, the Matajis are there who are pujaris, who are taking care of the deities, they will blow.
Okay, Prabhu.
Mansi,
Dhanyavad.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mansi Mataji.
Yeah,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna
but
Mataji.
then at home, no, we do Aarti, Tulsi Aarti in the evening every day. Okay, singing Tulasi Krishna Prayasi, that we do it every day in the evening, which is a custom from birth we've been seeing. And after doing Aarti and then that Pradakshina, then female, we only blow the conch shell, Prabhu. That is what
Okay.
we are seeing from the time we got our senses. That, grandmother used to do, mother does, and even I do that.
Okay. Okay. So I hope Chanda Mata has got, Chanda
Yes,
Mataji
yes,
has
yes,
done.
Prabhuji. Dhanyavad, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So any other questions are there? Question, comment, anything new you have understood, anything new you have learned in the class. Many things were there today in the class about the Vaishnava, how we should do, what we should do. Okay. Any comments or any understanding over that?
Yes, Prabhuji. I have learned today new thing, that is my takeaway, that being in the temple, we should not talk louder, and even the personal discussion, and this thing we should not do. And what is the reason behind it? Connecting my sense to this particularly, that we should feel the lordship, or the Lord is there. So obvious, when the some guest we are coming, we talk very slower, and some personal discussion, and this personal thing we don't discuss, so that they will not get disturbed. So this is very beautiful thing that you have explained, and I have taken it, and this is my takeaway from today's class. Very beautiful, and very much I'm able to connect to it, and it's the scientific sense that I can say to my children, I can deliver this knowledge to them, that why it is so. For this, thank you, Prabhuji.
One more thing which is not mentioned in the class is the mobile thing. We should not open the mobile, and we should not
Yes, Prabhuji.
we should not be like going through the mobile, because imagine a very important person is coming to your home and you are not giving time to that person, and you are in front of that person, you are opening the mobile and chit chatting like that. So it
Yes,
won't be a very
Prabhuji.
uh, nice way of showing respect. Okay, so whenever we are going to temple, keep your mobile side, keep your mobile at home, better. Okay, so like that. Can we have
Very good,
different deities
Prabhuji.
one frame? So Supraja Mataji is asking, can we have different deities one frame? Yes, we can have, but there should be a hierarchy. Like Radha Madhav should be in the above. Then you can have Narsim Dev, we can have Panchatattva. Then we can have like our Guru Parampara. Then we can have our Guru Maharaj. Okay, like that. So different hierarchy should be there from the above to down. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji pranams. Would you like
Hare
to
Krishna.
tell us something about Jagannath? Yeah,
Jagannath Rath Yatra
Rath
is going to
Yatra.
happen tomorrow. Okay, so Jagannath Rath Yatra are like so everyone should be like I think in every place ISKCON will be organizing the Rath Yatra festival, so you can participate. And it is like we are pulling the Ratha, and we are welcoming Krishna in our home, in our heart. We are doing like that. So we should be like very humble, like Krishna. Like everyone cannot go to the temple. Like in the Puris, the non-Hindus are not allowed to go to temple. Okay, so how can they take darshan? So Lord Jagannath only comes out and give darshan to us. So that is the Rath Yatra festival, and everyone can pull the ratha, and they can clean the way for the Jagannath. Like King King of Odisha used to clean the way for the Jagannath. He tells that that is his service, that he used to clean. So that is the mentality, that Jagannath is the king of everyone. Okay, Jagannath is the king of everything and everywhere and everyone, and we are his servants. So when Jagannath is coming out of the temple, so we should be cleaning the temple, and that cleaning is cleaning our heart for bringing Krishna. So we clean the way for Jagannath. We drive the Rath of the Jagannath, and we welcome the Jagannath in our heart. Okay, so like that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so there are many pastimes are there. And in the Puri, like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes and clean the Gundicha temple, okay, and he himself will be cleaning. So he, imagine he's a supreme person, he's supreme personality of Godhead. He is inviting every person to come and clean the Gundicha temple, and he himself will be cleaning the deity's altar. He himself will be the cleaning everything. Okay, so like that. So it is a very nice opportunity. So whenever or wherever there is Rath Yatra happening, you should attend or you must attend the Jagannath Yatra festival, and you should do some service. You should engage yourself in some service. If there is no service, you can ask for some service. So there should be no hesitation in asking for the service. Okay. So you are not serving for any other thing. You are serving for Jagannath. So that mentality should be there, that we are serving our king. Okay, we are serving our supreme person. We are serving the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, and we are his eternal servant. So that service or any service we get, even the menial service of cleaning, even the menial service of anything. Okay, we should take that service very nicely. That at least we are able to do these things as a service to the supreme person. We should take that service. Okay, so like that we can celebrate the Jagannath Rath Yatra. Okay. So Jagannath is coming out to give darshan to all. Jagannath is very merciful that he do generally what you will see that the main deity from temple won't come out. Okay, that is the rule, that whenever there is any utsav, there will be small utsav murtis will be there, utsav deities will be there. That will come out on any other things will happen on that utsav murti. But Jagannath is the exception. Okay, Jagannath comes out to give darshan to all, because many non-Hindus are not allowed inside the Jagannath temple. So they will go to the Puri, they will take darshan of the Jagannath, they will pull Radha, they will clean. Okay, so like that. Yes, so any time maybe Mangalore ISKCON will be organizing some yatra over the Jagannath. So every year some the yatra will be getting organized from Mangalore. So try to participate in that yatra. Every year we should visit the holy places. Okay, it is said that maybe in this chapter or in the next chapter, it is said that I think in the next chapter that we should be visiting the holy places. Okay, every year we should visit the holy places. We should take darshan. Even once we are visiting the holy dham, then our many of the papa karma it is getting vanished, and our path of devotion will be like cleared like that. Okay, so we should. So anytime there is announcement, you should be the first person to register for that yatra, and you should be taking participation in that yatra. Okay, or anytime you are Mayapur Dham is there, so you can come to the Mayapur Dham. Puri Dham is there. Okay, Puri Dham you can go. Vrindavan is there. Vrindavan you can go. And believe me, when you're coming to these dham, your devotion will certainly increase when you meet the devotees, when you hear the devotees, when you see the deities, when you take darshan of the deities. Everything it is so blissful that your devotion will increase. Okay, so try to come out from um, your busy life for at least like 5-7 days whenever there is yatra. Register that yatra and be a part of that yatra. Okay, like that. It will be better if your whole family comes. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It's always nice to hear about whenever this thing comes, you always prepare our consciousness so nicely for any occasion. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, so Rath Yatra is there. So everyone is very excited for the Rath Yatra. Yes. So I hope somewhere nearby ISKCON will be organizing the Rath Yatra. You can visit, or online something will be there. Okay. Or from the ISKCON Mayapur only Yatra will be there. Okay. So you can online. So you can, or if you are residing nearby Mayapur, you can come to Mayapur, you can visit, you can take part in the Rath Yatra. Okay. Okay. With this, we'll end our class. Any other question, anything is there, then we can, otherwise, we'll end the class. Praveen Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This was a wonderful discourse, specifically the 32 offenses which were given. But I still was considering that if one commits a sin, isn't that a more of a crime and against an offense? Because offense can be rectified, but a sin cannot be rectified.
Sin can be rectified, but offense cannot be rectified. Offense is the impediment on the path of spiritual, in your spiritual path. Sin and good karma and bad karma are mostly material. Okay. So you will take birth and death again and again, and but offenses, if you do, you cannot come out of this cycle. Okay. Because you are offending the Vaishnava, you are offending the Supreme Person, you cannot come out of those things. So offenses are worst, are the worse than the sinful activities.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, is it because the offenses actually become into sins and, we get into that cycle? Is it like that, Prabhu?
It is said that a person who is offending, uh, or a person who is doing offense on the name of the chanting, there is no chance of deliverance of that person. There is no chance of spiritual progress to that person, and that person will certainly degrade. Okay, so like that it is said. So in respect to the spiritual perspective, we are saying that the offenses are far more worse than the sin. Both are bad only. It is not like the sins I'm and advocating the sinful activity, that we should do the sinful activity. Both we should not do. Okay. So it is not like I'm advocating the sinful activity, that we should do the sinful activity and we should not do the offenses. Both we should not do. Okay. Both should be avoided, but the offenses are far more worse than the sinful activity. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can I add one more thing to what you just said?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Just that Krishna in the 18th chapter also he says like, I can take care of all your sins and I will give you moksha, I'll give you liberation. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. But again, if we do an offense, if we commit an offense at the lotus feet of a devotee, then Krishna will not accept that. He'll not, forgive that. So, like you said,
Yes.
definitely sins are on a definitely material plane, and offenses are on a spiritual plane. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So we can take example of Jagai Madai also. So Jagai Madai was very sinful person. Every sin they have done, whatever sinful activity is mentioned in the Shastra, they have done all the sinful activity, and even they offended Nityananda Prabhu also. Okay, so that is also offense they have done on the Vaishnava. So they have done all the sinful activity, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not angry on them. But when they did offense to a Vaishnava, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very angry on them, and he brought the Sudarshan Chakra to kill them. Okay, so the offenses against the Vaishnava is very dangerous. Okay, so like that it is. Sinful activity can be eradicated, but offenses, when you offend any Vaishnava, you cannot progress in your devotional life. Okay. So the first one, the offending of Vaishnava is very important. We should be very careful in offending any Vaishnava who has dedicated their life for Krishna consciousness. Like many people will be there who will be offending or blaspheming the senior disciples of Prabhupada. Many people will be there. Okay. That they will be blaspheming the senior disciple. They will be saying ill things about senior disciples of Prabhupada. So their spiritual progress is in very danger condition. Okay, very dangerous condition. So it is Prabhupada has written directly that we should not blaspheme any devotee who has dedicated their life for Krishna consciousness. We should not be engaged in that thing. Even we should not hear that. That will also lead to deterioration of our spiritual life. Okay, so that is the thing. be careful of that. Okay, that even we should not be in any way, we should not be engaged in these things. Okay, if we have any confusion about any Vaishnava, try to consult the senior disciples, try to consult the senior devotees like Namanishta Das Prabhu is there. Okay, so like that. YouTube is like mixed one. Okay, so you should be very careful whom we are hearing, whether the bona fide source is there. So many people will be there, they will be talking anything and everything left and right to any other person. Okay, so they will be talking about some Vaishnava also. So we should be avoiding those things also on the YouTube. So we should be very selective also on the YouTube. Otherwise, once we start hearing those things, then degradation. Okay. And no need of like, see, many people are like hearing here and there many things. Like I have seen many people hearing like Sadhguru and other sampradayas also. But one thing I'll tell you, Prabhupada has given us everything. Okay. Everything Prabhupada has given. Okay. So when we are hearing outside, sometimes we may hear something else. Okay. Like that, it is there like principles and details are there. Okay. So in previous classes, we are hearing principles and details. Principles are the generalized things. The detail can vary in different sampradaya, different gurus, different details can change. Okay. So that can happen, but when we are hearing certain other person who has different philosophy only, then we can doubt even our philosophy. So we should not be hearing anything and everything over the internet. Okay, Prabhupada has given everything in the ISKCON, everything he has given. Okay, just we have to explore the things. Everything is there in whatever days I have spent in ISKCON. My experience says that Prabhupada has given everything and we are not able to explore that, even that also. Okay. So we should not be going here and there, and we should not be searching here and there and making our ways like too difficult. We should be focused. Prabhupada has given a focused way and we should be focused on that. Not going here and there like hearing this lecture, hearing that lecture, hearing from this person, hearing from that person. Okay. Senior Vaishnava, we should, even if we are hearing on in the YouTube, we should hear Srila Prabhupada, we should hear the senior Vaishnavas or the Vaishnava who are Prabhupada disciples, okay? Because they will be speaking about the Prabhupada only. If we hear here and there and this and that, then we may get distracted, we may get away from our one focus, okay? So like that. So believe me that Prabhupada has given everything. What Prabhupada has not given, everything he has given. Okay, we just need to explore the things, and we should explore in our, and we should implement those things in our life. So better to avoid here and there everything, because that will also lead to diversion in our path. That will also making impediment in our path, diversion in our path. Okay, so like that, it can happen. So be careful over the YouTube. Okay. Okay. I hope something new I could tell you, which is my experience, and from my experience, these things I'm telling. So you can have your experience after some. Okay. So we'll end our session today. So we'll meet mostly in the next week with the next chapter. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubha vevcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji, for the
Krishna.
wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.